Welcome back to Suladan Plays Grandfather Island. I should have hit the play continue button, and it's probably going to do what it did last time, which is, I'm just back to the start of the game. We'll see. I guess you'll get to see the bug I was talking about last time. Yep. And then if you hit load game, then it takes you back to where you were, which is peculiar to me. Also, whoa, mouse sensitivity. Okay. So the door closed behind us, that's a thing. Grandfather's ashes is apparently our next quest objective. We shall consume them and absorb his power, and we shall rule this land with an... Oh, that's right, there's a laser wolf that won't let us do that. If his ashes are in the wheelbarrow, so help me. Soccer ball was not what I expected to find in the wheelbarrow. Okay. A mailbox. A tiny little shed. Tools. Toolbox. Magical flying butterflies are trapped in the... Okay, I can see through the wall. That's actually not a rendering problem. That's just like, you know, one of the finer little details you see in old rustic buildings is the wood doesn't always match. Especially like a log cabin where it's, you know, actually made out of unfinished, like unaltered wood. Is, you know, it's not always perfectly... Will you get down? Not dancing up there on the grill. We've talked about this. Okay. So there's a... That's not ashes. That's not ashes. That's not ashes. That's not even an urn. I guess... Whatever. Magical butterflies, you keep doing you. What do we do with Grandfather's ashes? No, we're not putting them in the trash can. That would just be rude. Not that Grandfather cares, for he is dead, but, you know. Oh, hi, Laser Wolf. You come to steal the ashes from me? You're beautiful and all, but I don't know what you symbolize. So help me if this is the end of the game, and I just, like, stretched it out an entire week for no reason. Is it literally I just come put them on the piano? Or am I... What is with the butterflies? Am I just casting them out over the island? I am indeed. Okay.
Peter. Toutes les choses auxquelles tu
I'm gonna wait to read this until there's more of it on screen because I read fast. Peter, all the things you don't often think about are sometimes the most important. Death knocks at my door and I continue my journey by leaving a few words to tell you that not having you by my side... Wait, a few words to tell you that not having by my side is transformed... I don't know, sorry. Anyway, ever since your parents died in the traffic incident, I took care of you the best I could. Now you've become a man, but I don't want you to forget that you'll always be my little boy. I wanted to show you through this journey that there are little things that can change the heart of history. Life passes too fast not to pay attention to the beauty that surrounds us. The world is locked in front of the screens. Children no longer play outside. Adults are overwhelmed by information, overconsumption, work. Sometimes we have to refocus on what we really want. Love, nature and its fragrance, the freshness and love of a woman. The laughter of children, simple things like morning smiles, hugs, the fragrance of our love on the cookie. Not gonna comment on that. When life becomes difficult, remember there are always small, wonderful and joyful details. It is up to us to not forget what surrounds us, because everything has an end. Inside, make sure you find the best and don't let the shadows darken tomorrow's light. Every smile counts. Life goes too fast, so look around and do not miss it. Take care of your wife and children. Learn this love like a butterfly that we often hunt out of reach. But if we remain in love with the simple things in life, he's more likely to land on our shoulder. I'm leaving you with a smile. I love you, Peter. Grandpa.
Je t'aime, Peter. Grand-père.
Really beautiful island, though. Looks like the sun is actually consuming the ocean, though, which is a problem. The horizon is curved around it. Thanks for playing. Oh, I love this game. This is beautiful. This was a beautiful game. It was very well worth the experience. Visually and sound-wise, it's great. My only main critique would be in the... Okay, there's more than one critique. Sound-wise, my main critique would be that in the dark blue cave with the cages and the skeletons and all, the fact that I could still hear the violin, the somber background music playing from time to time pulled me out of the atmosphere and tension that the cave could have otherwise produced. So I would probably recommend making sure you don't have music bleeding into areas that it doesn't need to be in. Secondly, I'm a little puzzled by all the different environments we traversed through. In theory, I would think that each area represented either a stage of life or perhaps an aspect of life. Like the cave to me kind of feels like, you know, the fear of death. Being buried, being underground, being alone, being trapped, you know, in a cage, symbolically. I don't know, but if you're going for that, and if each area is symbolic of a different thing, a different aspect, maybe more coherently tying into that would be nice. Each area is beautiful in its own right, but I don't really know what they connected to and what they were trying to say. Also, the laser wolf is a laser wolf. I don't know. It came out of nowhere. It left as soon as it came. It was here repeatedly, and it never really explained its presence nor symbolic meaning, assuming it had a symbolic meaning and wasn't just there to be pretty. A lot of the environment suffers from that feeling of it's beautiful, but you don't know really what it's there for. Like the canyon and all of that. What? It's beautiful. Again, it's beautiful. I have zero complaints on the visuals and the sound and all. This is beautiful. But I don't know what it meant. So going from that to the swamp didn't... You know, going from that to the ruins, or that to the swamp, or that to the canyons, and, you know, from the cave to the forest to the... I didn't feel like I was following as much of a coherent story between them as much as we're going from biome A to B to C to D, which are each beautiful in their own respect, but they lose a little something in the fact that they don't feel as coherently connected. If it was me, I would try to put them in an order that's telling a story. You know, if it was me, I would have each section, you know, be symbolic or meaningful in some way, and the game would need to communicate that. And then as you transition from one area to the next, to the next, to the next, you would be weaving a larger story. You know, it's kind of like the... Trying not to use this as an example, but I can't help it. Zelda Majora's Mask. Each of the areas were really distinct from one another, and they didn't feel super connected, and that was fine. I love the game, don't get me wrong. But then somebody comes up with the theory about it, you know, symbolizing the five stages of grief, and suddenly each of the areas feel like they have a coherent weaving into one another. You go from here to here to here, and so on. And that made sense, and it wove them together in a way that made them feel more coherent. Again, I love that game. It's one of my favorite games. I'm in no way criticizing its level design. It was more hub world-ish because you have the central area and all the other areas branching out from it, and compared to other entries of the era. But in this case, it's a beautiful walking simulator. I love the game. I personally probably would have gone with a $5 to $7 price tag. The $9.50 is a little high to me. But I don't know how much work went into it, and I am in no way in a position to make pricing judgments. It is on Game Jolt. That is the price. I love it. I was personally, you know, I got this for free. It was gifted to me by the game dev that made Dowdy, and I love this game. I am very glad to have had the opportunity to play it. my own. I loop back on myself. Really, someday I need to just stop and write a script that keeps me on track better. Visually, the game is outstanding. Sound design, the game is outstanding. Level layout, I feel like the areas taken one at a time are each gorgeous and beautifully designed, but they don't tie together. They don't seem, to me, at first glance, to connect to one another. And while they each are beautiful, they don't seem to have a connected theme aside from island. Given that the journey has to do with his grandfather's death and him drifting from his wife and children, I think interweaving those themes into the areas and have it be a journey where, you know, throughout it he's learning these things would tie them together better. But I highly recommend the game. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I could come into this game and get so many beautiful, like, desktop backgrounds just out of the environment. I love it. I don't really know what else to say. Thank you for watching. This is the end of the game. Thank you, Game Dev, for, you know, giving me the copy of the game and the opportunity to play it. This is beautiful. Again, I love it. But not much else to do, so I will see you on the next game.